start with the obvious thing that, I'm sure people are talking about, that the unsealed indictments against Donald Trump. I mean, okay, it's news, right? I personally don't care. I just got to tell you, I don't care, because it's not like he's the first person to have done this. And when he has pointed this out on his Truth Social, I do not subscribe to that ridiculous social media outlet of his, but he did point out that other presidents have done this, and he's been right. I mean, Bill Clinton pardoned his former CIA director for exactly the same thing, but only his former CIA director, John Deutsch, was found guilty, was convicted of keeping classified documents on his personal computer. And in the last days of the Clinton presidency, what did Slick Willie do? He pardoned John Deutsch for that, right? Then there was his wife and her emails on her personal server, um, that she smashed with a hammer. And then, of course, there's Joe Biden and the documents that he had in his garage next to his Corvette that I pray to God that he is not still driving, because, dear God, that's just dangerous. But okay, it's absolutely true that probably every president has secreted away classified, top secret, all kinds of documents from their tenure in the White House. But Trump is indicted for having, I mean, when you see the picture of the boxes, I mean, that is kind of funny. Like, I cannot remember how many boxes, bankers' boxes of documents that he had in a bathroom in Mar-a-Lago. The 44-page indictment filed in the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of Florida alleges that Trump endeavored to obstruct the FBI and grand jury investigations and conceal retention of classified documents. The indictment lists 37 felony counts in all against Trump, 31 counts of willful retention of classified documents, which that actually is a crime, 1 count of conspiracy to obstruct justice, 1 count of withholding a document or record, 1 count of corruptly concealing a document or record, which is weird to me, because I mean, I would think that concealing a document or record in the act of committing a crime of retention of a classified document is a crime all its own, but then there's a separate crime if you do it corruptly. That's interesting.
Wait, hold on. So to quote the good brother Kalanji Changa here, let me play crackers advocate, if I may, Jacqueline, because the difference what Trump crackers advocate is is that these other presidents willingly gave back these documents, or at least the people against Trump. Let me phrase that differently. The people who are, saying that Trump deserves these charges is that other people who had those classified documents still in their personal possession after leaving office, when asked for them back, they returned them. But Trump said, "What documents? I don't even know what documents in the bathroom. What?" And directing his staff members to help facilitate this obstruction of not giving back these papers, which is the most, I mean, if that's not some cracker shit, I love that. Can I just tell you how much that makes me giggle? Like, Trump was like, I don't even know what papers y'all talking about. They're like, nigga, we know you got the papers, man.
Right.
We seen the papers.
Right. Yeah. And I that's BS, right? Because everyone else who willingly return the documents only did so in Biden's case. The only reason we even knew that Biden had any documents from his time in the White House, and now it comes out that he gave the University of Delaware like 2,400 or 2,800 boxes of documents from his time in the Senate back in 2013. The only reason we find out that Biden did that is because of the investigation into Trump, right? If Trump were not investigated for these classified documents he has, we would have never known that Biden had documents in his residences in Delaware, and his garage, and in his office that used to be in D.C. and that there's this cherry picking that liberals want to do to
Yes.
excuse what Biden is doing. And, they've said that, well, Biden hasn't had classified documents. He hasn't had top secret documents. It's not as many documents as what Trump has. They've all violated. They've all violated
Mhm.
this so-called law rule. That said, this to me is almost exactly like the whole, argument we always have when some shady dude who is black gets to, called out for sexual assault, and then folks are like, well, Harvey Weinstein and white men. Well, yes, white men get let off the hook a lot, but that does not mean that this person should not be held to account. This That's how I look at this. It's like this is an issue of the ruling class dealing with its own garbage. The ruling class is taking out its own garbage in a very biased way. And then in the case of Trump, there are aspects of this that are much bigger than the fact that Trump violated the law in this way, even to the extent that he did. I think a bigger issue in this conversation about these documents is what's in them.
It's in
Like,
the
there
doc.
is one document in particular that is literally a plan outlined to attack Iran that Trump had. And he says he didn't come
Hmm.
up with this plan. He says that General Mark Miley created the plan, that the Department of Defense, the Joint Chiefs of Staff created the plan. Mark Miley says that, nope, Trump created this plan because he wanted to attack Iran to create this false flag situation if he lost the election, to
Mm.
create this situation where only he could appear saving the US from, right? But there was supposedly this big back and forth in the last days of the Trump administration where Miley presents himself as the adult in the room trying to keep Trump from attacking Iran. There were people in Trump's cabinet who were all in with attacking Iran. So somewhere in that, this plan was created, to a document to carry out an attack against Iran. And even one of these, there's audio tape of one of these meetings in which Miley is heard asking, or at least the transcript of the meeting of the audio tape says that Miley is heard asking people in the room, why are y'all so intent on attacking Iran? What gives? Why y'all fitting to do that? Why y'all itching to do this so much? And Mike Pence, who is now being propped up as the alternative, well, not even close to the
Hmm.
alternative, because he ain't winning nothing.
Nope.
He doesn't have the personality to win, like the extra pancake at breakfast in his own house. He can't win an election. But Pence is heard saying in response to Miley asking, why are you all itching to attack Iran? And Pence is heard saying, because they're evil.
Ah,
Okay.
This is the
right.
guy who is running for the alternative to
Ghetto.
Donald Trump. So this to me, and I'm not trying to make Mark Miley out to be some good guy. He's certainly not. Liberals have, propped him up as the hero who saved us all from, this psychopath Trump and the psychopaths in Trump's cabinet. But I think that document really does reflect what US foreign policy is and how easy US foreign policy is shaped by the individual personal whims of whichever psychopath is in the White House, whether it's a Democrat or a Republican, because that's literally what US foreign policy is. And that has a larger implication on what we have been told about the things that have been happening or the way they've been reported in Iran. If we look back on the way protests, supposed anti-government protests in Iran have been reported. Oh, this
Mhm.
great women's uprising. Yeah, that's no. But that's not the media is not focusing on the content of these documents and the political implications that they have on other things that the media has reported on, because they don't want to do that. So all they're going to focus on is the indictment, and potentially Trump going to prison,
Mhm.
which he might. It's possible he might. I think probably 2 months ago I wouldn't have believed it, but I don't know. With his attorneys jumping ship, he can't find a lawyer who wants to represent his ass in court.
Girl.
I
But
mean,
watch
it's
him win though, Jackie. Watch
Yeah.
him win though. That's
and
that's gonna be the wild part. He
but
will be
see,
convicted of something and
that's
still
the
be
thing.
elected president.
That's what I was
That
gonna say. I was like, I assume that won't slow down the presidential
it's
run at all.
and that is the thing. People don't. It's he can go to trial, be found guilty, be sentenced to prison, and he can still run for president.
He can still serve as president. He can still
He can
serve as
still,
president.
and here's the thing, he is not going to lose. If he loses 5% of his base of support, I would be surprised. I